Hi, I'm Darren Ellis. I am a choreographer. I've been working in dance for about 22 years, something like that. I can't remember exactly. Yes, I trained at the Rombe School of Dance, and then I went on to dance with lots of different companies, including Random Dance, Matthew Bourne, Mark Bruce Dance Company, and most recently Richard Olsen Dance Company, where I was also a rehearsal director for 2 years, something like that.
Cool, and what do you do now?
And now I set up Darren Ellis Dance in 2007. This is a good test. I set up Darren Ellis Dance in 2007, and I've been making my own work, predominantly solo shows, and I'm trying to work with my other skills. I also play drums and percussion, and I've kind of integrated that into the work quite a lot.
Good stuff. And what's your current work? What have you just recently been doing?
Currently, I've been working on a generational piece with 4 female performers, ranging from a 14-year-old who is also actually a CAT student in Dance East, and right through to a 70-year-old who is a member of the Company of Elders at Sadler's Wells. So there are four female performers, and it's really 4 solos that link together. And I really want to work with each one of them and find out more about what dance meant to them at the stage of life that they were at. And we've been using live music, which is this fantastic folk duo called the Askew Sisters. And I used folk music because it really seemed to make sense of having this kind of music or stories that are passed down generation to generation, and it just seemed to make sense to use that. The process that we went through was a very one-to-one working relationship with myself and the performer, just finding out a little bit more about them, about what dance meant to them, about where they were at in their lives and what they were going through, really. And then I kind of chose a piece of music for each one after finding out that information, and worked with them very kind of giving them tasks so a lot of the material really came out from them and me just directing that. But each one wanted to work really differently, which was also interesting. Of each age group seemed to want to work in a different way, which was really nice to kind of to find that. And then we just worked then we had a few days in the studio where we could link these solos together a little bit, and that for me then it became much more about passing on information, or this whole thing of generations learning from each other. So there's tiny elements of that within it, even though it is 4 solos predominantly. And then I decided to add a little staging and set to it slightly, because we were originally doing it in a gallery space and not in a theatre space. So I've got these they've each got a pair of shoes, which kind of symbolises their journey on Earth, and then tied to these shoes is a very fine string you don't see, and then these helium balloons, very clear helium balloons, which is to create a sense of air or the spiritual realm or different ways. So these kind of different journeys they're on. And so we worked with that a little bit as well and used that.
Good, and do you normally work like that? Is this a new process for you?
Well, I mean, I normally work through improvisation because I'm normally working on myself. So I'm giving myself things and creating that way. But this has been the first time really that I've had other people. Well, I mean, I make other commissions on other groups, and I have done group pieces before. But this is the first time I've felt that I've taken someone and taken their material a little bit more and what, just their own influences and things, and kind of gone with that and directed that, and that's quite a new thing for me.
Interesting. Is this going to be the new theme, your process going forward? Is this how you're going to work in the future?
I'm not really. I mean, I think every process is kind of it's got to be different depending on what the project is, or if it just depends. And already I'm working different commissions with different dancers or different performers, and Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily just one process. I think it really depends on what you're doing, or what you want to make, really.
So when you go into the studio, do you have a plan in mind? So you have these 4 ladies, they're turning up. Do you know that you want to pick out the story, or does things just emerge for you?
Well, this time, actually, this in that way, this was a real departure, because I didn't have a plan in terms of there was no real narrative as such. I mean, there was a through line of this generational. Obviously, there's already something there when you've got 4 performers that are of different ages. But I didn't go in with any kind of predetermined idea of where it would go. It wasn't even really meant to be a piece. It was just a kind of research time for me to find out a little bit more about each kind of performer in their lives, really. But it grew into something else as it went on, and it took me a while to find how it was going to work, and musically and staging of it. But this time I didn't have a real. It wasn't all very clear or set out as a piece.
Okay. And what's the next for Darren Ellis Dance? What's the future?
The next thing, we are going to be doing the Place Prize Commission. It's going to be a duet for 2 women, and I am using the Askew sisters again, and it's going to be myself and my son also playing guitar. So there's going to be live music for musicians. It's something that I really want to continue with, is working with the music, live music. So that's happening in the summer, and then there'll be a new commission, hopefully, that we'll be making in the autumn. And I really want to make a children's piece that's could be take time to kind of manifest, but it's something that I'm really interested in making.
Good stuff. And I understand you're an associate artist for Dance East.
I am an associate artist for Dance East.
And
yes.
How long have you been associate artist at Dance East for?
I've been an associate artist at Dance East for 2 years now.
And how's that been?
It's been fantastic. Each year we've had a commissioning money, and also studio space and theatre and technical time, which is just been amazing, really. We've made 2 pieces there. Long Walk Home was made there, which is the generational piece I was talking about, and After Effects, which is a solo piece that I have with a drum kit, and these lights inside the drums, and they light up and do all these rhythmical things, and that was made there too.
And in your opinion, how important is support from these big institutions and dance houses to artists?
Well, I mean, as much as just the sort of the financial element, there's lots of support in terms of they'll put on the work somewhere, they'll market it, and you get quite a lot of kind of mentoring in a way of just how to put on a show, and to get that production made, really. And also it's a time when it's more about having the studio time and just to try things and create, and there's it's not like there's a big production at the end of it. It really is time to just try out new ideas, really, and things. I think we do these kind of rough cut showings after a kind of rehearsal period, where you get audience feedback and they come in, and it's really valuable to get that before you make a piece, really, I think.
Good stuff. So you've been working with the CAT students at Trinity Laban. It's fantastic. How's that been for you?
It's been great working with the CAT students at Trinity Laban. We've had a great time just playing a lot. It's based upon Long Walk Home, the generational piece, and I've used just elements of that with particularly of that age group, of what I discovered from working with Mari, who's the 14-year-old that I worked with, and just really, taking themes from of them starting a journey, really, and being on their way somewhere, and whatever that may be. They all have different dreams and aspirations. So we've been using the helium balloons and the shoes, so they've had a good old play with those. And it's been, again, the process of this has been similar to the generational piece in terms of letting them create quite a lot of movement, and then me coming in and changing bits and directing it. But they've had a very big creative input, and there's 19 of them, which is great. There's a lot of them, a lot of energy there, and they're really I think they're really up for that of being creative and trying new things. So that's been really great.
Fantastic. So obviously the CAT students at Trinity Laban are all quite eager to develop their own careers within dance, and they're very excited about moving on and doing professional training. What advice would you give them as a veteran within the industry?
My advice to them would be to just really continue working at every aspect of it, every side of it for now, and get a really varied and full kind of education in it, really, in dance, of all aspects of techniques, and also go and see as much as possible and really find out what's happening in dance at the moment, because there's a lot happening in London, I think. So, and also I think it's good to have that sort of varied and keep open to everything, but also start to think about what it is you want to do and what kind of things you'd like to, what kind of work you'd like to do. I think it's just a kind of relentless commitment to keep going and going, really. But also not get stuck in just, taking class. Actually look and see shows and see performances.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been great speaking to you. I'm assuming we can get all the information from your current shows and future shows from the website. And
can. That is www.darrenellisdance.co.uk.
Wonderful stuff. And we'll look forward to seeing your show at the Laban Theatre on the 21st and 22nd of July.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Yum dutton dutton diddly dutton dutton dia dutton dutton dum diddly dutton dutton diddly dutton dia dutton dado. Yum dutton dutton diddly dutton dia dutton dum diddly dutton diddly dutton dia dutton dado. Yum da da dee dado, yum da da dee dee dum da da dee dado. Dia da dee da dee dado.